So welcome to a new Game Stuff episode, and quite a few interesting things to go through here, even to the end. I have some anime pickups right at the end. Haven't done one of those in a long time. But before I begin, I will ask you guys, what have you picked up in the way of merchandise or video games? What are some new games that you've picked up? Let me know down below. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start off with an interesting one. Not a game or anything like that, but to do with a game from back in, I think, 1999, 2000. One of my personal favorites. And I gotta say, I gotta thank one of my good friends, JKB, who came to stay with me for a week. We got to hang out. We did some drone shots, some crazy stuff, just for the fun of it, just to hang out, just to kind of explore Vancouver a little bit. But when he came over, he gave me this. And I was so thrilled to get it. I've been looking for it for a long time. And that is the Grandia Strategy Guide right here. They don't make strategy guides anymore. A primo one at that as well. So thrilled to get this, and my friend Jay knows how much Grandia means to me. And it's one of those games that I just absolutely adore. And for games that I like from back then, I really like to get the strategy guide, just like getting a combo deal. And it just kind of captures that place in history. And I can't believe Grandia is so many years old. And he picked this up for like $5 in like a used bookstore at one point. He just went in there, it was like $5, he grabbed it, and then he held on to it, and he knew how much I would like it. So want to thank Jay for grabbing this for me. And okay, the heavens opened up, and this came finally right here in this box. What is in this box? Oh my goodness. It is here, folks. It finally arrived. Thank goodness for Kim to pick this up online. I got really frustrated because the website was crashing on me. I gave up. I had to go out, and Kim was the one who picked this up for me. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the special edition right here, and so thrilled to get this. How many of you out there have picked this up, and what does it mean to you? I mean, I have all the Xenoblade Chronicles special editions now, and I can't wait to put this up on the shelf. It's gonna look amazing up there, and yeah, I'm just so thrilled to have it. Also, as an update, Kim is still working through the game. She's nearly at the end. She's taking her time. There's no rush here for sure, but we're gonna do a final thoughts on this game so we can put an end to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And let me tell you, Kim doesn't want to. Next up is from Limited Run Games. And let me say, I was almost giving up hope of this showing up. I kept seeing other people posting it, weeks and weeks ago, saying, oh, I got my copy, and I'm like, is mine showing up? Like, I ordered this, right? I know I ordered this, and it finally showed up, and do any of you guys know this? I'm gonna open this up. It comes with the most amazing t-shirt, too. I own the original game, and I always pronounce it Gyres. It's Gyres. This is the most confusing title. It's so confusing that on the ad itself, it shows you how to pronounce it, the original ad back in the day. And let me just say something about this game, though. What an amazing shooter on the Genesis. It's up there as one of the best, I would say. I love Thunder Force 2, but you can't take away from Gyres here. A classic of our time. A very big shooter 'em up game back on the Genesis when it first came out. Very cool stuff. And look at it. So that's the original game. Let's just put that here for a second. Look at this. They did the t-shirt. Can you see? Guy are us. Guy are us. Guy are us. I mean, this is still confusing. It's the most confusing title for a game ever, I swear to God. That's why it's become such a meme over the years. And oh my God, look at this, it's cool. Here we go. With this, look at the original Japanese artwork on there. We got this kind of weird looking thing over here going on, but beautiful stuff. And it comes with a shirt and a whole bunch of other things in there as well. I'll do a close-up of that for sure. But very cool. And let me just say, what sold me was the shirt, because the guy, no pun intended, was wearing the shirt in the ad. And for them to make the shirt from that ad from nearly like 30 years ago, brilliant stuff. And so I saw this and I'm like, oh God, I have to cave, and I did. Next up is some very interesting retro games from Japan, from the good old days of the Super Famicom. I'm gonna show these. From my friend Jimmy Hoppa, he was lightening his collection a little bit, and he was looking for some homes for some of his items. We were talking, and I'm like, oh my God, 2 of those items I would really love to have because they really mean a lot to me. And he's like, absolutely. So he made me a super deal. Good friend of mine. Gotta say, with Jimmy Hoppa, he sent over this. This is great stuff. The Ninja Warriors, again, on the Super Famicom. The original game on the Super Famicom. Unbelievable to get this. I've wanted this for so many years. Huge Ninja Warrior fan, right? I'm gigantic. I ranted and raved over the years about it when I first saw it in the arcade, and then it came to Super Famicom, and then the re-release as the Ninja Saviors. Great stuff. He also included this for me, and this is something that I did not have. It came with a Mega CD version, okay? This is very cool. Look how tiny this is. I'm going to hold that up, get some light. The Ninja Warriors Special CD Sampler. Look at that. It came with the original Mega CD game, and it's got some great songs on here. Daddy Milk is on here as a mini CD. This is extremely rare. Jimmy knew I was a big fan of the Ninja Warriors, so he included this. And I can't thank him enough. This is such a prize for somebody who's a big fan of this series. So couldn't believe I got that. So I got to thank Jimmy for that one big time. Also, a guilty pleasure of mine from back in the 80s was Area 88, UN Squadron. I got the American version, got all the comic books, I got laser discs, I got all sorts of stuff. But I didn't have this, and he included this. Area 88 on the Super Famicom, right here. A classic old shoot 'em up based on a fantastic manga. I talk about this whenever I get a chance, and we were talking, and this is a beautiful little copy here. Like, oh my God, look at this. You don't see artwork like this anymore, do you? For video games, and I guess what it is the nostalgia for me of this art style right here. One of Leiji Matsumoto's his assistant, yes, right here, did this manga, and it was extremely successful. Came out in this country a little bit, but I'd really love to see a return to Area 88. I've often said that I'd love to see another video game of this kind of stuff and all that, but I mean, I think it's lost in time now, but that's why I collect some of the old stuff as well. Okay, we're back to the present here for some modern games, and a lot of these I picked up for really cheap. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch. A classic game. I mean, such a classic game. I love the re-release. Played it all the time on the PS4. But to have it portable now, and also I got it on Amazon, super cheap, man. I mean, just check out Amazon all the time and keep refreshing it, I swear to God, because this one I think I got for like $29, which is a super steal. Okay, another limited run game did show up, and oh my God, this is my favorite Star Wars game of all time. And back in the day, I told the story how I borrowed one of my friend's Xboxes to play Halo. He threw Halo in, but I borrowed it so I could play KOTOR, the Knights of the Old Republic, right here. And the one thing I want to say, yes, this is the Switch version here, but on that Xbox, that original Xbox, the atmosphere, the feelings, it captures Star Wars. And almost captures Star Wars in a way that I still haven't seen since, in a lot of ways. I don't know, I can't, it's just the time period or what it was. I just remember playing this game and I was just sucked into the universe of Knights of the Old Republic. Never played the second game. I never got into that. I heard it, got bad reviews. I was just like, I'll stay away from that. But it was always the first. And I was really bummed to hear about the remake getting canceled. I'm like, no, that was one thing that I was super, super pumped about. But really excited to have Knights of the Old Republic on the Switch. And man, those memories, right? From Star Wars on the old Xbox. This is a fitting game to receive during the Halloween-y time that is right now. Castlevania Requiem, right here. 2 of the best Castlevania games of all time in one package. And this is kind of interesting because it's the first time Symphony of the Night has gotten a physical release, and Rondo of Blood as well, since back in the heydays, right? And both of these games I absolutely adore. I mean, Symphony of the Night, I actually have the vinyl in the other room. I listen to it every single Halloween. It always gets me in the spirit of things. And Rondo of Blood, PC Engine, incredible game from back in the day. The best of Castlevania. If you want to know what Castlevania is at its highest, for me personally, it's these two games. These two games are the best, for me personally, Castlevania games. I know a lot of people are nostalgic for the first ones and all that, and the Super Nintendo versions and stuff like that. But man, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the first time I could... Anyways, I'm going to save that talk for a different time, because I could just rant and rave about Symphony of the Night for at least 2 hours, and who knows, maybe I might do that coming up. So I love this right here. I had to get this collection. Just like Shantae, River City Girls has gotten another release, and I had to pick it up. It is River City Girls on the PS5, and I know it's only been a couple of years. I'm already very nostalgic for this game and for the time it came out. It was just before the pandemic, and video games were coming out by the truckloads, and this game came in. Great two-player game. Love the music, love the animation, love the characters. I just fell in love with it, and I really enjoyed it. I did a full review up on the channel back in the day of why I liked it. And PS5, yeah, sure, I had to get it. It's River City Girls. Looking forward to the next installments in the series as well. Okay, we're near the end, but my God, I swear to God, I've saved the best for last. The best for last. Have any of you guys gotten this book? Go Straight, the ultimate guide to side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Have any of you guys seen this book? By Bitmap Books. This is one of the greatest books on beat-em-ups I have ever seen. Bitmap Books in general create some of the best video game books that exists. That is true. And I will prove it to you right now. For any of you out there who like side view beat 'em ups from back in the day up to now, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Flipping through it, looking at all the beautiful sprites, and what this did for me when I flipped through it to begin with, and I'm gonna go through it more intensely later on, is that it's a celebration of the games we grew up with. All the amazing beat 'em ups, from Double Dragon to Streets of Rage to the Ninja Warriors to Splatterhouse. Look, every page. And look at this. Look at this stuff for Splatterhouse. They go in depth. Oh my God, it's amazing. They do an Alien vs. Predator. They do Ninja Gaiden. You know what's scary to me as well? What's scary to me as well? You could show me every single page of this book, and I could probably tell you 98% of the games just from pictures. If there was no titles, I could, because this is what oh no! It's Dynamite Ducks! Presented in a beautiful way. But you know what? Isn't that nostalgic? Isn't that nostalgic? That's too funny. Yeah, man, I mean, going through all of this book and just seeing all of these side view beat 'em ups. Side view beat 'em ups were such a big deal back in the day, even to now. People adore these games, right? Like Golden Axe. Oh my God, Golden Axe, a classic. And there's just so many. Like, going through this book is a love letter to the past. And it's just so nostalgic. I don't mind saying that 1,000 times, because that's what this is. This is visiting my childhood, and all the time sitting on my friends' couches playing co-op games like this, and oh my God, revisiting some of the Neo Geo games like Robo Army. Oh, like, look at this stuff. The book speaks for itself. It really does. And another win for Bitmap Books, man. Just knocking it out of the park. Like, I can't believe the amount of work that went into doing this. Oh, guys, King of Monsters right here. Oh, yeah. Just look at, like, going back to my childhood, man. Standing in the arcade scene, King of the Monsters playing a Neo Geo. That was something else. And I'm going to spend a lot of time going through this book, one page at a time, just taking it all in, because there's so much to adore here. So many amazing foldouts too. Like, look at this stuff. Alien vs. Predator. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. So yeah, as I say, I don't work for the company or anything. I'm just giving my honest opinion on Go Straight, the ultimate guide to side-scrolling beat 'em ups. A phenomenal book if you are in love with these style of games, this is definitely the book for you. High recommendation. Okay, one D&D thing and then one anime thing, and we're out of here. Okay, the D&D. Here we go. It's a Dungeons & Dragons starter set. The Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, right here. And you'll be like, John, why would you get this? What is this for? Who is this for? You've been playing Dungeons & Dragons for years. Well, you're correct, I have, and I love Dungeons & Dragons so much, and I have every single book on it known to mankind. And so why would I get this? Okay, I go and visit my mom and sister and my nephew at least 3 times a year. They live up north, and every time I go there, I'm like, oh man, I wish I had some of my D&D books. We could play D&D, and I never have it. So this is going up north to my sister's place, and I want this on the shelf there so I can pull it out and we can play Dungeons & Dragons. I've always wanted to play Dungeons & Dragons with my mom and sister and my nephew. And even we could bring Kim in there as well, obviously. That would be really fun because they don't know how to play D&D. They don't know what it's about. And I think it could be an interesting evening. And one thing I'll say about the starter set, very cheap, under 20 bucks, so it's not going to break the bank. It comes with an adventure in here, all your dice, and what I love the most, pre-made characters. Pre-made characters are awesome. Do you know what? The thing about pre-made characters that I love the most is that I have them in the shelf in the other room, and we always play D&D whenever we do, and a new person comes over and they're like, oh, I don't have a character. And I'm like, here you go. It's as simple as that. Pre-made characters are awesome, and you know what? To play with a family, I don't have to bring my own dice up so they won't grab my dice by accident, and yeah, you know what that's all about. Don't grab somebody else's dice. So very easy to get into. Do you know what? I would recommend this for anybody who's on the fence about Dungeons & Dragons. Very cheap to get into. You have everything here to start a little adventure, play with some friends for under 20 bucks. I'm talking 20 bucks Canadian. So definitely one that I had to pick up, and it's going to my family up north. And one day when I'm up there, it might be very, very soon, we'll be playing Dungeons & Dragons together. Alrighty, the time has come that I can talk about this. And for any of you who've held out to the end, thank you so much. And this anime, I backed the Kickstarter this a while ago. It finally showed up. It's an anime from my youth that is some of the foundations of the anime from my youth. This is one of those ones I watched, and it had such a huge impact on me, and I adore it. I had it on beta, then VHS, and finally on Blu-ray. Metal Skin Panic Maddox, right here. And what is this about? Look at the artwork on here. Look at this stuff. This is the heyday of anime for me. Simple story, no spoilers. It's about a kid, of course, that finds a mech suit that is, by accident dropped off by the military. I won't say how all that works, but he gets into this mech suit and he can't get out, and all he wants to do is meet up with his girlfriend. When I look back on some of these premises now, I'm like, this is really outlandish and outrageous in a lot of ways, but it was so endearingly cool, especially when we didn't have a lot of anime in this country. And I discovered Maddox, obviously through my own local anime club, and we got a copy of Maddox, and I watched it, and it was everything that I must have been around 15 years old when I first saw it. It was everything that I wanted. It was a kid who gets a military mech suit, and fighting other mech suits, and the military's coming after him. It was a joy to behold, and it enthused me so much that this is one of those cores. It's like Project A-ko, Maddox, Bubblegum Crisis, that made me an anime fan for life. And I was very happy to back the Kickstarter and get this off the ground. I did the same for Riding Bean and Bubblegum Crisis and Otaku no Video. And here we are once again with another successful Kickstarter. And let me just say, Anime Ego does such a great job with the packaging on this stuff. And I was very happy to back the Kickstarter. So I sat down and I just watched it a couple of days ago, and unbelievable stuff. It still holds up. A lot of these old anime, though, I gotta say, a lot of dust. When they were putting the cells on and they had to sweep, I don't think they were doing the sweep because there's a lot of dust on the screen. That's the one thing I noticed with Project A-ko. Man, the amount of dust on the cells and the scratches, because Blu-ray just shows it all now. When you had a standard definition TV back in the day, you didn't see any of that stuff. You just were like, this is amazing. Where now I'm like, man, blown up on a 65-inch 4K TV. I'm like, man, that's a lot of dust. Who's asleep on the job that day? I always think that. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to talk about this anime, one that I adore from my childhood. Maddox, Metal Skin Panic, Maddox, a super classic of our time. What have you guys picked up in the way of new game stuff? Let me know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.